Welcome to a Personal Legion interview for some folks here at Scale Computing. And today I'm here with Jeff Seitz. Jeff's in our support groups, been here for quite some time. But Jeff, I'll let you quickly introduce yourself and then we'll get into some really deep questions.
So I've been here for a little over 6 years and work on the support and services team. Current title is Tier 4 Support Engineer, but I do a lot of whatever a VP or executive asks me to do.
Yep.
If it's an emergency needing to get a cluster imaged or packaged up for shipping.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Or another classic is setting up hypercore on hardware that hasn't shipped yet or even been seen by QE or engineering.
Yeah. It's fun. You get to play a little like mad scientist in the background, right?
Yep.
So Tier 4 that's the highest. That's pretty much the highest level of tech support we got. So you're clearly one of the nerdy guys like here at Scale that can pretty much pull off anything. I can vouch for that. So some really serious questions. When did you get your first computer and what was it?
I don't remember the exact time, but I probably would have been 14 or 15. We had a couple of home computers that I would tinker with every once in a while, but I remember going to Goodwill and I actually had to buy, I think, 3 computers that they had to get one functioning computer. And it was like a AMD K6 processor, 128 megs of RAM, maybe a 10 gig hard drive.
Yeah. Yep.
So compiling Gentoo on that was that's get started and go to sleep and see if it worked in the morning.
It is. So is Linux, is that kind of your bread and butter OS? Is that's your you kind of live, eat, sleep, die by by Linux?
Yeah, I've been deeply involved with using and troubleshooting Linux since before then, and just have never really gone away, and was able to eventually get jobs working with it, so that was pretty neat.
So what did you want to be when you grew up?
It went from the more typical astronaut, little atypical with archaeologist, paleontologist, and then the one I had for the longest, I think, was probably operating system developer.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably in the vein of why I am who I am.
Nice. Are you a gamer as well? Do you get into any of that stuff?
I do play video games quite a bit.
All right. What's your kind of go-to right now?
I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty Black Ops 4.
Nice.
I really enjoy the zombies modes.
Who doesn't, right?
Destiny 2 when they're not in a drought of content.
Right. And I've been playing Warcraft since it pretty much came out, and I still stick with it. There's always the new expansion, and then it kind of peters out, and then you wait for the next expansion.
Same story.
Yeah. So are there any kind of technology hobbies that interest you as far as kind of outside of work and things that you, I don't know, mess around with at home?
I really like alternative architectures, like ARM 64, Power, and up and coming RISC-V. Getting into a lot of those. I have at least 10 or 12 small board computers, various manufactured chips, Allwinner or Rock chip.
Yep.
And to go along with that also, just free and Libre hardware that really allows you to take complete control over the system, know what's running, who's running it, and complete auditability.
Yeah.
So a lot of those architectures are more welcoming to the Libre hardware and software than your traditional x86.
Yeah, and much more cost effective too, right? I mean, I've got a dozen Raspberry Pis in my house just because it's they're $35, and you can pretty much do all kinds of cool automation stuff with them too. I really dig that too. So are there any specific like non-technology related hobbies that you've got? Anything like that?
Haven't played as much as I would like to, but playing guitar, listening to music. I love reading and just learning. But with my career and just how much my career overlaps with my interests, I pretty much live, breathe, and sleep Linux and virtualization, and what I do for work is exactly what I would do for fun, with a few customers mixed in for flavor.
Yeah, nice. So you've been at Scale for 6 years. So and you mentioned you're kind of a tier 4, and would you say your area of expertise here is like kind of that deep Linux like knowledge and product knowledge here at Scale?
Yeah, it's definitely an ability to kind of bring together two separate ideas of, how does our software work and how does this hardware work, and then how does our software work with this hardware. I was creating nested clusters back in 6.1, and it wasn't supported until 7.5.
Right.
I had our stuff running on Lenovo hardware in 2014, and it wasn't really of interest
until recently.
Yeah, it wasn't of interest to engineering until last year.
Yeah. From that support perspective, as you also mentioned, like you're tier 4. So when do you get involved, like from a support perspective?
For the most part, I am still pretty involved with our tier 3s and helping them address those more difficult cases, but a lot of it is mediating between support and engineering and our QE teams, making sure that support's best interests are being taken into account with product changes, or even just recently it was put into the code base, allowing the user to set the from address and their email alerts.
Right.
I wrote that, and that's the kind of stuff that I'm interested in doing is fixing problems that our customers have that, unfortunately aren't the ones that are going to sell deals on their own. Right. Cloud Unity is going to sell clusters and sell, a product, but being able to specify a from address isn't really going to be something that you can put on
the marketing slicks, right?
and that's the kind of stuff that I really am interested in working on, developing, and fleshing out, so that our customers have a better experience.
Well, excellent. That I think that's pretty much all I got for you. So thanks for taking the time. And I hope this is one of those things where it really kind of helps the folks out there that are our customers understand what it is we do at support and who we really are behind the kind of behind the scenes, behind the phone call. So Jeff, thanks a ton for taking the time and to talk with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Great.